Insulin resistance is a serious condition, describing the malfunction of the signaling pathway between the hormone insulin and the cell to activate glucose transporter enzymes to let blood sugar enter the cell. The higher the state of insulin resistance of your muscle and liver cells, the more insulin is needed to keep blood sugar levels normal. Once our body fails to keep blood sugar levels in normal ranges, because of insulin resistance and inadequate insulin production, we develop prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. If you have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, your muscle and liver cells have been insulin resistant for a long time, and about half of your insulin-producing beta cells in your pancreas may have already died. In this video, we will look at various causes of insulin resistance and why carbohydrate-rich foods are often not to blame for the development of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Health implications. Insulin resistance plays a central role in prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, but that's not all. You can be insulin resistant without having either of these diseases and still suffer from its negative health effects. Insulin resistance is linked to heart disease, the #1 cause of death worldwide. It also plays a crucial role in managing type 1 diabetes, as insulin resistance can make blood sugar responses to the same foods less predictable. This makes it more difficult to inject the correct amount of insulin, increasing the risk for too low and too high blood sugar levels. In Western countries, close to half of the adult population has either prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. We can see that improving insulin resistance is important for practically everyone. Saturated fat. Your state of insulin resistance can change within hours, in the most extreme cases. How extreme? Injecting fat into your bloodstream extreme. A few high-fat meals extreme. A few high-fat meals? Indeed, take two groups, one gets high-fat meals, the other low-fat, high-carb meals. The high-fat group shows much higher blood sugar spikes in response to a subsequent sugar water challenge. Injecting fat into your bloodstream and eating a high-fat meal, especially high in saturated fat, both lead to elevated free fatty acids in your bloodstream. These can enter muscle cells and form intramyocellular lipid, fat droplets inside muscle cells. This triggers inflammatory processes which interfere in enzymatic signaling pathways inside the cell, leading to insulin resistance. Saturated fat also damages the insulin-producing beta cells in our pancreas, effectively killing them off. This long-term, irreparable damage leads to more and more diabetes complications. Inflamed visceral fat. Obesity is another source of free fatty acids in the bloodstream. In a real-life scenario, obesity and excess fat intake not only lead to more intramyocellular lipid, but also to detrimental fat accumulation in fat cells. Fat cells in abdominal fat deposits, the so-called visceral fat, react with stress and inflammation to excess fat accumulation. This results in the production of small pro-inflammatory proteins called cytokines. These in turn induce insulin resistance in cells all around the body. Obese men and women with male abdominal type of obesity suffer more strongly from this cause of insulin resistance. We can now understand why losing weight, or rather losing fat, can lead to a massive improvement in insulin resistance and thus prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. Interestingly, these two major causes, intramyocellular lipid and inflammation, are primarily linked to fat intake, not carbohydrate intake. Animal products. Animal products are often high in saturated fat and thus contribute to the causes explained above. But that's not all. Advanced glycation end products, in short AGEs, are the result of proteins or fats reacting with each other or with sugars. These AGEs damage tissues and organs all over the body and are related to heart disease, chronic kidney disease, and also type 2 diabetes. Sadly, badly managed diabetes and a decline in kidney function can increase internal AGE production and worsen AGE clearance. The main dietary sources of AGEs are foods high in fat and protein, so primarily animal products, that are prepared with dry-hot preparation methods, such as frying and broiling. Other substances in animal products linked to type 2 diabetes include the amino acid leucine, primarily found in animal protein, activating the mTOR pathway, leading to insulin resistance and beta cell death, heme iron, leading to oxidative stress and inflammation, and cholesterol may also be implicated in beta cell death. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Environmental toxins. Persistent organic pollutants like PCBs and dioxins and heavy metals like mercury may play a major role in developing insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. And the effects might be more prominent in obese people because their fat deposits can store these toxins and thus act as a constant source of contamination. It seems that the damage done by dioxins and mercury is more potent when consumed together, for example in fatty fish, especially farmed salmon. In the US, farmed salmon is the largest dietary source of these contaminants. Other animal products, especially dairy, are also contaminated with persistent organic pollutants and heavy metals due to bioaccumulation up the food chain. Fish and dairy are the worst offenders. Summary of causes. Type 2 diabetes is characterized by insulin resistance and impaired insulin production in the pancreas. The main causes include fat intake, especially saturated fat intake, obesity, advanced glycation end products produced internally by badly managed diabetes and impaired kidney function, or ingested from external sources, mainly animal products prepared with dry-hot preparation methods. Heme iron, only found in animal products. Leucine, primarily found in animal protein. And environmental toxins, mainly found in animal products, especially fish and dairy. So, the cause of type 2 diabetes can be summarized as a diet high in calories, saturated fat, and animal products. What can you do? If you currently suffer from prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, you now know which foods to stay away from. Foods high in calorie density, which promote weight gain, foods high in saturated fat, and most animal products. Then again, many carbohydrate-rich foods let your blood sugar spike, which causes a multitude of severe diabetes complications. So, what can you do? It is clear that long-term improvements in insulin resistance and the preservation of insulin-producing beta cells take priority. But this does not mean that you need to suffer from high blood sugar in the meantime. We can split all foods into 4 categories by looking at 2 important aspects. Number 1. Does this food item increase my blood sugar right now? Number 2. Does it worsen insulin resistance and cause beta cell death? Foods to choose. Let's start with the worst combination: fatty, sugary junk food, high in saturated fat and processed carbs. Burgers, fries, chips, donuts, you name it. Another bad idea are foods that don't let your blood sugar spike, but worsen insulin resistance and cause beta cell death. Foods high in saturated fat and most animal products, like tropical vegetable oils, meat, fish, dairy, and eggs. High glycemic fruits and starches will likely spike your blood sugar, but they improve insulin resistance and preserve beta cells. Eat these foods alongside other fiber-rich foods, especially berries and legumes. Oh, now we have already spoiled some foods of the best combination. This combination is made up of non-starchy vegetables, low glycemic fruits, berries, intact grains, and legumes. Please make sure to consult your doctor about any major changes in your diet. Especially if you are currently taking medication and maybe insulin. Changing your diet and abruptly improving your insulin resistance may cause hypoglycemia, which can be life-threatening. If you liked this video, share it with everyone you know who might suffer from prediabetes or type 2 diabetes right now, or in the future. So practically everyone. Just joking. See you next week.